So my stepmom came up to me and asked me to do a DNA test on my children right in front of my husband. And well, to be honest with you, it made my husband think, well, why does she need that? Is there something I should know? She stirred up our relationship so bad that we almost divorced. That's right, let me tell you guys more about it. And let me tell you about how I got my payback. Am I the a-hole for demanding my stepmom do a DNA test on my half-sibling? What goes around comes around, they say. That is the motto that I live by and that my stepmom has to learn to live by. Let me tell you what I mean. Well, of course, I would have liked to keep my teeth intact, but you know what? There's a price to pay for everything. Anyways, I'm just glad that I got her back for what she did to me 2 years ago. It's funny that she cannot deal with being insulted the same way that she insulted me 2 years ago. Alas, I must go in chronological order. It's important so that you can understand the full story and also get a good judgment. About 2 years ago, my stepmom had the nerve to express the fact that she thought my kids were not my husband's. She nearly cost me my marriage, and things have not been the same since then. I decided to forgive my husband for siding with her and insisting that I do a DNA test. He said that if I had nothing to hide, then I would do it. The fact that he would ask me is insulting. I've never cheated on or even thought of cheating on him. What would make anyone think of something so crazy, you might ask? Well, it might have something to do with the fact that my kids don't favor my husband at all. Well, they don't look like him. They look more like his brother than they do him, and his brother is also a well-known, well, I don't know how to say this. He gets around a lot with women and has been known to get with whoever he pleases. However, he has never attempted such a thing with me because he knows what would happen to him if he did. My stepmom wanted to cause me trouble just because I excluded her from Father's Day planning. Decided to bring my children's paternity test into question. My husband went along with her and asked if I could have the test done. Surprise, surprise, those kids were his, not his brother's. I'm not that disgusted to do such a thing. Well, that would simply be too much. I've not forgotten such an insult to my character, and I cannot say that I've forgiven it. So now I have gotten a chance at payback, and of course I've used it. Now, she has the nerve to get aggressive just because I turned up with a test kit for her baby shower. You should have seen her face when I told her what the present was. She was fuming, and she had the nerve to attack me. That crazy woman punched me in the mouth, saying that I was just being disrespectful. I mean, how can I be disrespectful to a person that I didn't even respect? It's not a secret that both of us are like oil and water. We hate each other, and for good reason. She's annoying, she's a witch, and she ruined my parents' marriage. She considers me to be a nuisance and has been trying to compete for my father's time with me for years. She just will not accept that I will always come first. So, if she wants to play stupid games, then she will get the stupid results, which is what happened to her today. What she did to me did not go unpunished. She hurt my teeth, and there's a chance that I will lose them. They hurt so bad right now, and I'm so scared to go to the dentist. If I lose my teeth because of her, I will surely make sure she suffers. I can think of so many ways to sort her out. She must not try me, also. The way she reacted made me think that maybe she was hiding something. Maybe she is a cheater, and that isn't my father's baby. I mean, she got my dad by cheating, so I don't think that it would be so far-fetched if she would go behind his back. Anyways, I don't know her character, and she's not somebody who has integrity. I know how much she lacks morals, and I would not be surprised if that kid belongs to somebody else. It's so unlikely that it is my father's kid, considering the fact that he's so old and did express that he doesn't want children. So, I don't get why she decided to fall pregnant when he told her that he doesn't want kids. Also, how come my dad had to be the one to find out that she was pregnant and she did not even tell him? I was there when it happened, and she was like an absolute deer in headlights. She looked like she was about to be sick when he found the test results from the doctor. What if she cheated on him, got pregnant, and did not want to keep the baby? I don't know, I just don't trust her. She gives me these very bad vibes. I've noticed how she is with the male workers, and it makes me very suspicious of her. I know I'm being a bit too hard on her, but how can I not? The woman's crazy. She's physically attacked me today and did some serious damage over something that I said. When she asked me the ridiculous question, I was nicer to her than she was to me. I should have kicked her out of my house and not allowed her to access my family ever again. But of course, I had to think of my dad. I did not want to put him in a difficult spot, so I tried not to act too insulted by her. But if it were up to me, I would have seriously hurt her. Clearly, she does not know how to deal with intrusive thoughts because of the way that she reacted. Of course, there's people who think that she had a reason to act like that and I ruined her day. She's not the one who got attacked, though, and my request is not too much. If I had to do it, then she does as well, but of course she's mad about it. And she even asked my father to talk about it to me. She really thought that she could hurt me twice in one day, and she was dead wrong. When my dad called me to ask what happened, I told him the whole truth, and the reasoning behind my actions. I told him that what she did to me years ago really hurt me, and I don't trust my husband the same. He said that the two of us should not fight because we're family, so then I asked him why she never apologized to me for making those false accusations. I would never cheat on my husband and have kids with somebody else. Well, does she not know that genetics are a thing, and it is possible for somebody to look like a family member even if they're not their child? She made me feel worthless and even question myself even though I was innocent. And, well, I deserved an apology for that. It gets even better because now she's decided that she wants to harm me even though I did what she did to me. If you cannot handle something, then you don't dish it out. I think that an adult with fully functioning brain should know that. I told my dad that I was not going to say sorry to her no matter what. She has to say at first sorry to me for what she did to me 2 years ago, and then I'll think about it. My father was not happy about my response, but he did not press me or reprimand me. I'm sure that she was waiting for him to shout at me just so that she could be smug, and she did not get that. She's stupid for thinking that a day will come when my father shouts at me. He loves me too much to do that to me, so guess I won again, and she lost. She's opened a can of worms, and she will not be happy with the way that I chose to get back at her. If you play these stupid games, then stupid things will happen to you. I'm so going to make sure that she regrets ever laying a finger on me. Who the heck does she think she is, laying a finger on me? I've been too nice to her, and that's why she thinks that she can just do as she pleases with me, but she's going to cry. She has been warned. Update number 1. So, dear stepmom decided to try to mess around with me, so I had to teach her a little lesson. I'm in the process of doing it, but it's not going to be pretty. She's the one who started it, and she should not cry when things come crashing down upon her. What I've planned for her will make her unable to face anyone. I can't believe that I did not do this years ago. It would have saved me a lot of trouble with her. She would not be about to be the mother of my half-brother, and instead I tried to accept the fact that my father chose her and she was going to be his wife. I wish that she's been nicer to me over the years. Instead, she's treated me like a pest, and that's why she deserves what I'm about to do to her. I don't really have that big of a plan right now, but it is formulating, and right now I'm just trying to get the raw materials needed to put my plan into action. I'm not going to hurt her physically, because she's a pregnant woman. She's lucky that this is the case because the way that I'm angry with her right now is insane. I've gotten messages from our mutual connections, and they think that what I did to her is insensitive. I've given up trying to explain why I did what I did. They still see me as a bad person for stressing a pregnant person, but when she was putting a strain on my marriage, where were they? I didn't make it a thing that everybody around me had to know what she did to me. Even though she refused to apologize, I did not expose her for what she did. I tried to keep the peace, and in doing so, I might have appeared weak in front of her. We can't have that. I can't allow her to have the last laugh, which is why I'm going to teach her a lesson that she's never going to forget, and after that I will feel a bit vindicated. I'm sure that she'll not mess with me after I'm done with her. If she tries, she'll have to get through to my father. It's only fair that I also get involved in her marriage since she wanted to get involved in mine. How she could have such disgusting thoughts baffles me. I have never looked at my husband's brother in that way, and nothing in the world can ever make me look at him in that way again. Well then, now it's time for me to put everything into motion. Update number 2. It's less than a month after my update. The plan's in motion, and I know that we're getting very good results. I knew that she lacked self-control, but this is insane. She seems to have no morals at all, which makes it so much easier for me to do this. She's nearly 8 months along, and I'm thinking of leaving her for at least a couple of months after she gives birth. I don't want to be accused of stressing a pregnant woman, and either way, the plan is in motion. While that's being done, I've been digging into her past. I've been finding out so many things that if my father knew, he would leave her. There's no excuse or use at all of revealing them now because she will just deflect it. She knows that my father will not kick her out, so of course she's going to win. Well, tonight, though, I made sure to put her in a place that she needs to be put in, and it started to seem like she was not minding her own business anymore. The results were wonderful, and I must say that I felt very happy about it. She tried to make a big deal about the fact that me and my husband did not come to the dinner together. My husband arrived later on. She then asked me if I would really believe that he was working late when his secretary was so young and cute. Well, I had to then let her know that the secretary was not only married, but played for the other team. So she had nothing to worry about, and that shut her up at the moment, but soon she was back at it. Can you imagine? She tried to cancel our holiday in a couple of months. She said that she might be too weak to go. I gave my father the puppy dog eyes, and I just willed into the look how disappointed I would be since it was our annual family trip. He then said that it had been something that they've discussed, but it was not yet set in stone. It doesn't matter because by then she's going to be gone. She'll not need to worry about going on holiday. She will not even be part of this family. Before I left, though, I decided to put into motion what I went there to do. I told my father that they should do some tests on all of them, just to make sure that the baby was healthy and did not have unusual genes or anything. And my dad was about to argue, but I said that it was not about the DNA test. It was just to make sure the baby was healthy. As she is an older pregnant woman, she does have a very high chance of having a baby with complications, and I told him that it's better to be informed before the baby even arrived. I presented it in such a way to him that he seemed very convinced. Now we wait for her to go crazy when she finds out about this. I also want to really know if that is my father's child or not. I just don't trust her, you know. She married my father for money. Why should I trust her? And with the things that I'm finding out about her past, I grow weary of her every single day. Update number 3. It is another month since my update, and things have taken a very bad turn for everybody. I'm not sure if I should have done this now, because I was not expecting what I was going to find. Now, everyone's hurt, and my father's not responding to my messages. Have I ruined everything in the process of making her look bad in front of the family? I'm inclined to believe that I have. I've gotten what I wanted, I think, but I don't know at what cost now. Do I feel bad? No, not so sure, because I exposed the truth to everyone. If it was not for me, then nobody would have known this very important thing, and my father had every right to know about this. They had not been getting along for the past month because my dad wanted to do the test so badly. So then he went behind her back and actually did it. He ordered the test. Since he is the father of the child, he does have the right to order it. What did they find, you're wondering? Well, the child is his child, but it's not her child. Well, she could not conceive, so she paid somebody for the egg. She could somehow carry to term, even though the doctors were very skeptical about it. She also wanted a younger person's egg because there was less of a risk of genetic mutation. This was why she kept on telling my father that the baby was going to be healthy no matter what. The more she tried to stop the testing, the more he got suspicious, and in the end result, he got what he wanted to know. Then he called me to the house and he told me that she had left the house in a fit because he confronted her about it. I said that of course she would do that since she was a dishonest woman. I had to strike while the iron was hot. So I told my father that I had something to look into from her past. She used to run scams for money back in the day, and she also had multiple misdemeanors and was affiliated with some dangerous people. I then asked him if he really wanted to be married to somebody like that, and I should have never said anything. I was winning, and then I spoiled all with my big mouth. He asked me if I really thought that he did not run a background check before marrying her. He told me that before anybody joins the family, they have to be looked into. No one could be a part of the family without getting a thorough, full background test. He told me that he even did one on my husband. So then I asked him to show me what he found. He told me that my husband should have told me everything about him before we got married. There was no need for me to see what he had found out. I said that if he cared about me, then he was going to tell me what my husband was up to. I'd been kind enough to tell him what his wife was up to, and yet he could not do the same for me. He said that at least she did not cheat. She just decided to omit some details about their child to him. But she had good intentions behind it, so I asked if this meant that he forgave her, and he said yes. He just needed some time to work through it, but he did not hate her because of this. I was so tempted to tell him something that would shatter his belief in her, but then my husband shows up. My dad said that he told him to come and fetch me. I've been there for a while, and I was trying to get my dad to spill the beans. My dad was not having it, and he felt that I was being a nuisance. So once again, she has won. Well, she's not there to collect her victory because she left like a coward that she is. The best part is that she might have left because of the fact that she's scared of all her other secrets going to be spilled. Let us just say that I've been cooking something up. I have a plan B, which I'm going to use. I was going to wait until after she gave birth to use my ammunition, and my father would then fight for custody of my little brother, and she would be out of our lives forever. However, it appears that I'm going to have to reveal the truth to everybody. My plan is to let things die down for a little, then I'll claim that I want to apologize for all the things that I've said. So then everybody will be invited to dinner, and that's when I'm going to expose her. I nearly succeeded right now, but it was a bit too rushed. What I've planned for her is going to make her cry, and I'm sure that she'll not mess with me again. The aftermath of what she did to me 2 years ago is still going on. There's a strain on our marriage, and every time that we fight, that matter is brought up. My husband then says that there's no reason for me to keep on holding this over their heads. He said that he gave her the benefit of the doubt because women can also cheat. So, excuse me, why did he marry me if he thought that I would cheat on him? Worst of all, with his brother? It's disgusting. Update number 4. The family dinner ended in an absolute disaster. We're at the hospital right now, and things were chaotic, and that had some interesting results. I'm not too mad about the outcome. It could not have been better than it was, honestly. Wow. Anyways, I'm sure that you're dying to know what I've planned on my holier-than-thou stepmom. Well, it's simple. I plan to catch her cheating on my father so that my dad would divorce her. I got my brother-in-law to help me out, and first I told him what she did those years ago to make him hate her. He was so offended, and in the heat of the moment decides to join me in teaching her a lesson. She needs to be careful about the things that she says and to whom she says stuff to. That's what I believe, and what he does as well. He also felt insulted, that he would even look at his sister-in-law now. Now, I could have used him to seduce her, but that was too obvious, and she would not fall for it. So we got one of his friends to do it. I'll call him Carlos. Carlos is about 10 years older than my brother-in-law. He's good-looking, he's successful, and the person who would at least expect to be a ladies' man. You would think that at his age he would have settled down, but he is still in the game, and always looking for a side quest. So we enlisted his help to make her slowly fall for him to the point of no return. I gave him as much information about her as I could, and he then told me that he did not want me to interfere in his work. He was going to do the work and deliver, and I did not need to monitor him. So for the past couple of months, he's been doing just that. Then he confirmed to me earlier that this week, she cracked. Nothing hectic happened, just a kiss and a confession that she was falling for him. I got it all recorded, and of course, because Carlos is good at what he does, I had a family dinner with everyone then, including my stepmom, brother-in-law, father, and husband. I said that I had a lot to say to her, and I wanted it to be in front of the whole family. I said that I was sorry for what happened the last time that we interacted. There was probably no reason for me to do what I did to her anyways. Clearly, she was loyal to my dad and would never cheat. You should have seen the guilt on her face. She looked like she was going to downright pass out when I mentioned the word cheating. I then said that I had a present to say sorry. Sorry for what I've done. I handed an envelope to her, and it was a spa resort. Yeah, vouchers for the same hotel that Carlos was staying at. She tried to look happy, but she was very, very shocked. She tried to keep her composure, but she was clearly uncomfortable. So she rushed and said that of course she forgave me. She was so sorry that she's been so hard on me in the past. I said I was not the person that she had to say sorry to. It was my brother-in-law. She asked why she had to say sorry to him. I said that's because she accused him of having bad intentions with his sister-in-law. She seemed to be back to her normal self right then and there and just looked at me. It was clear that she had nothing to say, so I had to bring in our second surprise, so then I went to open the door for Carlos. Yep, as soon as he walked in, she stood up and she asked me what the hell's going on. She did not even try to deny what she's been up to. It was now too obvious what she's been doing, and Carlos then asked her, well, is she going to leave her husband for him or what? She asked him to leave, and this was not the place, but he said no, he's not going to leave. He then said that if she tried to play it off, he had a video of her confessing her love to him. Just then, my father made a painful sound. I looked at him, and he was clutching his chest in pain. I screamed for somebody to call the ambulance or something, and tears were streaming down my face within seconds, and all I could think was the fact that I could lose him. We managed to get him to the hospital soon enough, and he was admitted to surgery. That is where he's at right now, and I've kicked her out of the hospital. She's not allowed to see him. She's clearly just somebody that will make this happen again. And no, do not blame me for setting her up. If she loved him, then she would have resisted. She's pregnant, for goodness sake, but she still wants to think about another man? How disgusting. Once my father recovers, I'm going to make sure that she stays the heck away from us all. She doesn't deserve to be in the same room as him, and she's merely a liar and a cheater, and I hate her. Because of her, my dad's in surgery and nobody knows if he's going to survive. She's better off just praying that he wakes up soon, or else I'm going to make her life a living hell. I'll expose her affair to the whole family, and they will make sure that she's an outcast. You know what? They don't like her already because of how she broke up my parents' marriage. You can imagine how they'll feel about her now. She dug her own grave. Nobody forced her to fall for Carlos. And this proved that she never actually loved my father. Well, she wanted to have her cake and eat it too. Final update. I should have left things alone. I wish I had never meddled in my dad's relationship because the cost was too much. Sure, I got what I wanted, but the cost was too much. My dad was in critical condition for weeks after the dinner. At the time, my stepmom gave birth. Right after, she left the baby with the nanny, and she did not come back. When I tried to call her, her phone went unanswered, and I decided that I needed to focus on making sure that my dad got better. So I left her alone and decided to focus on my dad. I spent a lot of time by his side, and the rest of the time with my new brother. My husband and I switched shifts, spending time with each one. During all of this, we bonded and also reflected on everything that happened. I think that spending time with him and being around the baby brought positive energy back into my life. So, I decided to let the past stay in the past. It had done nothing but make my life even more miserable so far. As I was doing that, my father, he woke up. It took a while for him to be mobile again, and to also deal with her leaving. She did not even respond to him when he told her that she could come back and, they could co-parent and maybe work this out. She was cold and said that, it's his baby and not hers, so she would not be responsible anymore. I felt that was very childish of her, but decided to mind my own business. What they decided to do is move forward, and completely that's up to them, and has nothing to do with me. I'm just going to focus on my immediate family right now. So I'm staying with my dad and helping him out with anything he needs for now. The baby's growing and he looks just like Dad. I would say that he has everything at home wrapped around his little finger. He has contributed a lot towards the healing of the family, and the thing I regret the most is exposing her like that and causing my father to have a heart attack. nearly lost him because of it. It made me realize that he's a grown man and can decide who he wants and does not want in his life. I have to stop being so overprotective and involving myself when he's not asked me to do so. The price I nearly paid for what I orchestrated is too much to even think about. Thank goodness he decided to forgive me. He says that I'm young and I'm learning. That's very nice of him and very grown up. I think that I need to be more like him and less stuck up. My husband did confess that sometimes I can be like that, and I can feel very entitled to the people that I care about and go to extreme lengths to get what I want. It's hard for me to admit, but he's right. I'm guilty of acting like that in the past, and I'm going to try to stop doing that in the future. I mean, the stepmom in today's story was absolutely despicable. How in the world can she go and get a DNA test for OP to deal with, and then when OP gives her a dose of her own medicine, she wants to freak out and make such a big deal about it? I do want to know what you guys think, knowing that OP's father ended up in the hospital with a heart attack due to all the drama surrounding his family. This must have been a pretty tough situation for him to be involved in. But I do want to know your thoughts, your concerns. Maybe you guys have been in a similar situation. So if you were to give advice to somebody watching this who might be in the same situation, what would you tell them down below in the comment section, guys? My name's Mr. Reddito. I narrate these stories every single day, and if you guys want to be a part of it, all you got to do is subscribe. Check out my other channel as well, Mr. Reddito's Revenge. You're probably not subscribed to that one. It is a newer channel, but it has stories every single day, and it's all about revenge. So go ahead, type in the search bar up above, Mr. Reddito's Revenge. Give that a subscribe as well, guys. I'll see you tomorrow, and of course, remember, it's cool to be kind. See ya.